Hi YouTube, this is my first time here, please be gentle. The point behind this channel is me sharing and showing you guys how I'm gonna build my business as a freelance brand designer with no clients. Also, my purpose here is to grow as a content creator. So this video, there's nothing scripted, I just have some bullet points and I'm just kinda trying to speak as I follow along. Just kinda some small planning, nothing else. So in this channel, I'm gonna show you a little bit about my life. I don't know if I should or not. I'm gonna show you a little bit about my work, case studies, everything design-wise, business-wise, entrepreneurship, product, music, art. What makes this special? So this is going to be full transparency between me and you guys. So no fluff, no bullshit, no fake stats, no marketing strategies. This is not going as expected. I was supposed to film this video 2 weeks ago when I officially started my freelance brand designer business. But at the same time, I wasn't really sure on what should I share and what not to share. And here I am. I'm kind of feeling more comfortable with this kind of camera thing set up, and I feel okay with everything that I want to share about my personal life in general, work-wise. So yeah, I'm cool with it now. The weather is not that great, so I was supposed to do some cool shots outside and showing you one of my favorite places on earth, but today I got some London weather vibes, so I'm not feeling that great and it's windy and you might not hear my voice or hear some noise because of the wind. But yeah, here I am in my car sharing with you everything and let's see where it goes. So people ask me a lot why I chose to go freelance and not building my own studio, and my answer is pretty simple. I chose to go freelance because I want to show my face to people. I believe that now and in the future, people connect with people, not brands. And I feel like it's easier to build a deeper connection with another person than with a brand. Nowadays, people feel disconnected from brands. So that's why I wanted to do this freelance stuff and at the same time building my personal brand. At the same time, with the growing rate and number of design studios, I feel like most of the people there are unprofessional and they don't want to show their faces because they are scared of the work that they've been putting in and the dollars that they've charged for it. And here I am showing my face in public, showing myself on YouTube, doing my own stuff, but taking charge of everything that I do. I don't want to blame anyone else. I want to show my face to people, and if people like my work, they will like me. If people don't like my work, they won't like me. But at least they know the person behind the work that they paid for, you know? So that's kind of my thinking process behind why I chose to go freelance and not a studio, you know? Now, I'm gonna walk you through a little bit of a state of art, if I can say that, so that you can see a little bit of the context, the behind the scenes, where I'm at, where the business is going, so that's my focus now. State of art. As I previously said, no clients. Some contacts, but nothing that really solid. I'm going to rely on the content that I create and on my past projects. A little bit of context about me. I'm no one. I got an Instagram page with 700 followers, but just for my private life. I have a LinkedIn with 1500 followers, but I did a conversion between connections and followers since I had LinkedIn for about like 10 years. And that's the social media I'm gonna focus on. My play here is to launch myself as a freelance brand designer and grow my personal brand at the same time. If I said that I'm posting daily on LinkedIn, go give it a follow. So again, a little bit of context. My website. I did my website on Framer, so full transparency, that was my first time using Framer. So what I did, I just bought a template so that I could like earn more time to focus on Framer and learn more about the tool without keeping me away from progress. So I just bought a template, did some edits and launched as fast as possible so that I can get my first client. Why Framer? I chose Framer because Webflow prices are skyrocketing and I wanted to make it as cheap as possible until I get my first client. I have 4 pages: homepage, services, journal, and works. So on my homepage is like a summary of what I do, my projects, who am I, some blog posts, Then in the journal, I called it journal because I wanted to turn it more personal than call it a blog. I don't really like the word blog, so I called it journal. About my services, I decided to do package services, so 3 different package services with 3 different price ranges. One only for identity, one identity with landing page, and one full identity with websites. I'm gonna do another video in the future talking a little bit about why I chose service-suite packages and that different range of prices and why I chose those prices, so stay tuned. I'm gonna launch that video soon. And yeah, then I have the works page where I show some previous case studies that I did for previous clients, previous companies that I worked on, where you can see all the case studies I have there. I think I have 5 at the moment. Feel free to give it a check. Regarding the blog posts, I just did some early SEO focused blog posts for startups, brand identity, branding strategy, but I want to work on that on the future and kind of forget about the SEO ranking until I get there. And after that, I'm going to share a little bit about my process, how I'm building my personal brand. I'm going to try to do a makeover about my blog because I feel like no one reads blog posts nowadays because they are all the same. They are SEO focused and they don't provide any value to people, and they're just kind of a connection for you to get the email, to get a newsletter, and from the newsletter get some promotionals and sales. So I wrote that on a post on LinkedIn, so go give it a check. And by the way, if you want to check the website, ismaelbranco.com, link in bio, feel free and let me know what you think. Now a little recap about my state of art. So no clients, 1,500 followers on LinkedIn, a website, a dream. And now, what's my next action steps? So for my marketing strategies, I decided to go with 2, being one, obviously cold outreach, and I decided for the other one to kind of build my own lead magnet tool. For the first one, being the cold outreach, what have I done? Basically, I was trying to look for Y Combinator startups. So looking at startups, I feel like there's a bigger need for my services, the brand strategy and branding overall. And I tried to target those companies. What I was doing was I was reaching out to head of marketing, head of designs, also Y Combinator startups looking for kind of founding designer and trying to reach out to them. And for now, without any success whatsoever, but I feel like I need to give it a bigger try and a harder try. Let's wait for it and see how it goes. Another thing that I'm trying to do is trying to reach out to other startup communities and find where they are. Also some startup incubators to see if there's any clients out there or startups interested in my services. For now, I've contacted like 20 different companies, from brand managers, co-founders, founders, but just kind of got 2 responses that generated kind of a conversation to see their needs, but without like any success. So I feel like I need to try harder and make more contacts, add more people, try to make those conversations and see where it goes. I'm reaching out to those potential clients through my LinkedIn. I feel like I build enough trust and I position myself there as a thought leader in the design industry. So I feel like it's easier and I can leverage that on my favor and kind of be able to stand out from others. Regarding the other marketing strategy, the lead magnet tool, I gather weekly with an ex-colleague of mine, Anna, and we chat about life, work, what will be our next steps, whatever. And during that meeting, we were discussing how am I going to kind of get leads, generate leads, what's going to be my marketing strategy for the freelance brand designer business. And during that meeting, we were both discussing how I could build a lead magnet tool. So like an handbook, case studies with stats, some kind of a spreadsheet where companies could like understand the design impact on their business. But then we came to a conclusion and to a solution. What about building a quiz, a brand archetype quiz? And doing that brand archetype quiz, we'll be able to like understand pain points and see if companies could identify their business with the brand archetypes that they were given. And during that meeting, we also thought about giving free consultation, free audits, going through landing pages or branding case studies and kind of critique. But I feel like that won't help me position myself as a thought leader. I don't want to be criticizing other designer work. And so we got this solution, and I came to a point where it was time to start building it. So I use a tool called tally.so, if I'm not mistaken. And there I built my quiz. So I don't know if you guys remember. So I'm kind of old. I used to use BuzzFeed and choose my Hogwarts team and see what Marvel superhero I was through answering some questions. And that's the point behind the brand archetype quiz. How does the brand archetype quiz work? So it's pretty simple. Imagine yourself as a company, as a personal brand, as an individual. You just answer some questions. Out of 9 brand archetype quiz, you get matched with 1. At the end, that brand archetype quiz generates you some summary of what it means to be that type of archetype, and you see if it matches with your company. If it doesn't match with your company, it's kind of something that you need to think about it, if you want to match with it totally, or if you're okay with it. But the point behind it is making people think about whether they want to do some rebrand, or if they want to rethink about their strategy or their marketing strategy. And yeah, also at the end, I get your reply, I get your email that I can contact you. So basically, if I see that some of your answers don't match your brand personality, I can DM you, I can message you, or I can send you an email and talk to you about your brand positioning, if you want to do a rework or not. So that's the point behind the whole brand archetype quiz and how I'm going to use it as a lead magnet tool for my business. Another thing that I want to talk about is how I became like a content machine. Showing myself as a person allowed me to have the freedom to post whatever I want on LinkedIn, here now on YouTube, mixing my personal life with my professional life, and that gave me endless creativity and freedom to kind of grow together both brands, my personal and my freelance brand designer business. And from building endless content, now I feel like I have way too much content for a few days of the week, and I feel like I'm gonna start posting 2 times a day or 3 times a day on LinkedIn, so be sure to check it and give it a follow. What I did to kind of get this endless content, so I added the slots early in my mornings to do some creative writing, and that creative writing really helped me to kind of put my ideas on paper and to see what I wanted to do, what I feel comfortable with, what I don't, multiple topics, building my content pillars, and from there building some kind of a structure so that I could post constantly, you know. It was really hard to start, but now I feel like the need to write daily, and it just became naturally. So yeah, I feel like everyone should give it a try, you know. So yeah, what's next now? Since these are my early days, I'm pretty sure that I have time to do these videos, but at the same time I feel like I need to find some balance whenever I got a lot of work. I'm trying to figure out how often I'm gonna post videos on YouTube. Now comes the cool part. Remember when I said this is going to be a full transparency channel? Now is the time. I'm gonna break down all the numbers from my website from the past 3 weeks. For my website, these are the stats I got from only posting on LinkedIn for about a month. Giving a breakdown about the stats, I feel like there are a lot of personal connections there with no buying intent. I did an announcement post saying that I was starting freelancing, and I got a lot of personal connections reacting to my posts and to my messages, so probably they were checking my website. I feel like there weren't too many ICPs yet, so that's why my bounce rates are high too, and my average session time is so low. Now with the time, and as I narrowed down a little bit more my audience, those stats will be more close to what I want. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with the 950 page views for this period. It's like 1 month. And yeah, I was hoping for 1,000 to make a round number for the video, but unfortunately that's life. Now let's talk expenses. So far I paid $60 for Adobe software subscriptions each month, and $15 per month for Framer. Since I've already paid the yearly subscription, it's cheaper. Also, my domain and hosting ismaelbranco.com, I already had it, but I can count it with approximately $20 per month. With that said, this makes $96 expenses so far with no clients, no revenue whatsoever. But let's keep it cool, let's keep it chill, and keep working hard. Finishing it all, no panic. Let's start doing some SEO blog posts to keep the momentum going. I'm probably going to do some A/B tests on the website to see if I get better conversions. And I'm going to keep pushing hard on LinkedIn. One idea that I had is creating like a short group, like 6-7 people max, where we could share our LinkedIn posts daily, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, so that we can do cross promotion. This idea came to mind because I noticed whenever I post on LinkedIn and I ask like one friend or two to engage with my post initially in like the first 5 minutes, the post gets automatically boosted, so it's pretty easy to kind of get the initial engagement and just kind of work from there. It's kind of easy to understand how LinkedIn algorithm works at the moment, so I'm thinking about it, and if there's anyone interested in joining that group, feel free to send me a message. Yeah, also for next week, I'm planning on going hard on cold outreach. I need to contact as many people as possible and try to find a better way to do it. As I said previously, I think LinkedIn is the best option, but I'll probably try cold outreach through email. Let's see how it goes, fingers crossed. I'm Ismael, a brand designer building my freelance journey in public, sharing the behind the scenes, the strategy, growing my personal brand, and everything in between. Ending this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the channel. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you and see you next time.